Judges chapter 6 from verse 11. Now the angel of the Lord came and sat under the terebinth tree, which was in Ophrah, which belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, while his son Gideon threshed wheat in the winepress in order to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, "The Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor." Gideon said to him, "O my Lord, if the Lord is with us," what? "Why then has all this happened to us? And where are all his miracles which our fathers told us about, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites." Then the Lord turned to him and said, "Go in this might of yours, and you shall save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have I not sent you?" Which means the Lord came and said, "Gideon, the Lord is with you, mighty man of war." And Gideon said, "Then why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to us?" He was asking that question. What are the miracles that we heard about? This is not right. Something's wrong. And God said, "You are on the right track. That's right. You're asking the right question. Go in this strength of yours." Then what happened? Gideon was still doubtful. So he asked the angel to wait there. He went, got an offering, brought an offering to the angel because he was still thinking, is this really God? And the angel waited for him, consumed that offering and so on. And Gideon realized it is really God. It is really God speaking to me. But then look what happened. That's what I want to get today. Go to verse 25 now. Now it came to pass the same night that the Lord said to him, "Take your father's young bull, the second bull of 7 years old, and tear down the altar of Baal that your father has, and cut down the wooden image that is beside it, and build an altar to the Lord your God on top of this rock in the proper arrangement. And take the second bull and offer a burnt sacrifice with the wood of the image which you shall cut down." So Gideon took 10 men from among his servants and did as the Lord had said to him. But because he feared his father's household and the men of the city too much to do it by day, he did it by night. So once Gideon realized that it was God speaking to him, God was able to help him to change things around. So what was it that God asked from Gideon? What did he ask from Gideon? Remember, Gideon and his family, his people, were being oppressed by the enemies. Why were they oppressed? There was a reason for that. There was a root for that. Those people, the Israelites, were blessed by God. They were considered the treasure of God. God took care of them. God gave them victory over the enemies. God gave them success. But now they were slaves. They were being humiliated. There was a reason for that. There was a root for that. What was the root? What was the reason for them to be oppressed by their enemies? Because they were following another God. They had turned away from God. So much so that Gideon's father had in his house an altar for Baal. Do you know what the altar means? You see, every city has the obelisk. Obelisk. For example, here in London we have everywhere, every big city, they have the obelisks, those big towers there. Normally it's a monument. The root of that, where that comes from, that represented uh, um, the sexual organ of a man, representing fertility. So an erect monument representing the man's fertility, which was the worshiping of the devil at that time. Every time you see an obelisk, that's what it means. That's where it comes from. So they had one like this inside their own houses. Gideon was complaining that things were not right, that, they were suffering. But in his house, there was what? There was the image for the devil. There was an idol for Baal. So God was saying to him, my friend, you are asking me why is this happening? This is happening because you still have a link with the devil. You are still attached to him. So what you need to do is to go there, cut it off. And the second bull represented what? Represented the guarantee of a better future. That bull was kept in order to procreate, in order to represent the future of his family. So Gideon had to go there, take that bull, kill that bull, and destroy the altar, and sacrifice the bull on the altar. Now, that represented what? That represented madness, craziness. Imagine, for example, you have your partner who is a very Catholic person. Your wife, your husband, very Catholic. They have the images there in the house, in their bedroom, and so on. And they pray to those images every single day. And then you go there one day, and you take all those images, and you destroy them. You break them all. What would happen? What do you think would happen? Then you would have a big problem in your house. You have a partner who is a Muslim, and then you go there and you take the Quran, and then you destroy that book, that you burn that book in front of him. What do you think would happen? Your partner goes there and takes your Bible and burns your Bible there in front of you. What would you do? Because that's more or less what happened there. Gideon went, destroyed the altar of Baal, and then his father, when the people arose in the morning, woke up in the morning, if you keep reading there, you're going to see, it was a mess. They wanted to kill Gideon. So it took Gideon what? I was telling the pastors yesterday. By destroying the altar of Baal, by killing the second bull and sacrificing to God, it took him 3 things, like I already mentioned to you. Humbleness, because he had to humble himself before God and accept the advice of God, the guidance of God, like Alvaro did. He had to be humble enough to seek help. It took Gideon what? Courage to do such a thing. Courage to go there and destroy the altar of the devil in his life. And it took him faith. Faith that the Lord would protect him and would give him victory. And that's exactly what happened. If you keep reading, you see that Gideon not only overcame, but he became the ruler of the people, the king of the people at that time. And when you realize what the problem is, I am too this or too much that. I don't trust people. The root of my problem is my insecurity. The root of my problem are my bad friends. Maybe you are an addict. Maybe you have an addiction that nobody knows about it. You are struggling with your alcoholic addiction. You are struggling with your addiction to pornography. You are struggling with that, and you know what's happening to you. But nobody knows about it. So what do you need to overcome that? You know the root. You know where that comes from. So what do you need? You need to be humble enough to seek help. You need to be courageous to do what needs to be done. And you need to trust that God will provide for you. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. So if you don't do that, you can't overcome that. The root will always be there. Sometimes it's visible, others is not. But the root will always be there. And as long as that altar of Baal remained among them, so they will never have victory over their enemies. Humbleness to seek help, courage to take action, to do whatever needs to be done, and faith that the Lord will provide. Bishop, I've always been attracting the wrong kind of guy. Every time. I don't want to be alone, Bishop. Because my fear is that I will end up like my mother, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you don't want to be alone. But being available to every guy that comes to you doesn't solve the problem. So what do I need? What do you need? You need to be humble enough to recognize that there is a problem. You need to be courageous to say, I don't want you anymore. Get out of here. Pack your bags and go, because I'm not going to be accepting what you do to me anymore. But Bishop, then I'm going to be alone. Then you need to believe. You need to have faith, to trust that God will provide for you the right person. Then you will overcome that problem. Then you will make it. Bishop, I am being humiliated in my workplace. My salary is a miserable salary. I'm living a life of misery. So you need to be humble enough to recognize that something has to happen, that you need to do something about it. You need to be courageous to go there and say to your boss, either you increase my salary or I'm leaving. And you need to trust, to believe that God will open a door for you. Other than that, you will always be there. What is the point of you go to work every single day? That's your boss. You leave your home like, I can't take it anymore. I cannot take working there anymore. It's a humiliation. And then you open the door there, your boss says, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you? Oh, I'm so happy to be here again. I think it doesn't solve the problem, does it? Is it going to solve the problem? It's not going to solve the problem. So what do you need to do? What do you need to do? You need to be courageous to go there and say, I'm sorry, boss. I've been here for 10 years, and my salary, I can't take it anymore. I need an increase. I need to grow here and so on. But if you do that, you take the risk of what? Of your boss saying to you, goodbye. Okay. So this takes courage. If your boss says to you goodbye, you also need what? To believe. To have trust in God that the Lord will provide for you. And you need to act. That's the only way you can overcome that problem. Other than that, you're going to be working for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30 years and complaining every morning of your salary, of your income, but not doing anything about it. You have an addiction to pornography. So, Bishop, nobody knows about it. Yeah, but God knows about it. And the devil knows about it. How do you overcome that? You must be courageous. Remember that movie, Fireproof? The guy only overcame when he took his computer and he threw away. Which means he went there, he acted in a way that he never acted before. He cut off the link with the devil. And that's when he overcame. And the marriage was restored and so on. And that happens in the real life. You must use your courage to do so. That's what God wanted from Gideon. But the moment he did that, the Lord took care of him, provided for him. If you keep complaining about your problems, complaining about your enemies, but you don't do that, you're not going to solve the problem. You're just going to be a mourner, complaining every single day, but not doing anything about it. Amen? Bishop, I don't know what the root is. You know what the root is. He knew what the root was. He knew why he was behaving like that. Because he was insecure. He knew. And deep down, we all know why. We all know why. Why do you still drink? Why do you use drugs? Maybe it's because you are still engaged with the bad companies. Those bad friends that help you with nothing. So cut off the link. Cut off the link. Cut off your links with the devil. Destroy the altars of Baal in your life. And trust that God will provide. Read the rest of the story later at home, and you will see. It was not easy. But Gideon, the man who was there humiliated, he became the ruler of the nation of Israel. And the same must happen to us. The man who was that insecure about his relationship, who one day was betrayed by his girlfriend, who one day tore his wife's clothes because he was so insecure, today he's a very blessed pastor who helps others to restore their marriages. But he needed to be humble enough to recognize the problem, courageous to seek help for that, and trust in God. Have faith that God would provide. That's what we need to do. Amen? So I want you to write that there in your notebook, in your leaflet. Write down what? What do you need to overcome that? Humbleness, courage, and faith. Humbleness to recognize the problem, courage to act and do what needs to be done, and faith that God will take care of you, that God will provide for you, that He will not let you down, He will not disappoint you. This is necessary. And of course, when you are removing the root of a tree, is it easy? Do you go there with a spoon? Is that how you remove the root? It's hard. It takes hard work. It has to be an aggressive attitude. You don't go there and, in other words, it's a rough thing. And that's how we have to be. Cut off the bad root so that we can put on new roots there, which we are going to be talking about it next Sunday. Amen?